The last video covered how to create some simple waveforms in Morphine. However, in the majority of cases, this would not be the major way in which you'll create your sounds. Resynthesis is a tool to make working with additive synths much easier. I'll show you how you can use this technique to create some unique and individual sounds. I will quickly reset the program so that we can start with a fresh sound, and then I can now charge up the sample and compare the preview sound with the original. Using the note control, I can try and see if I can get a more accurate representation of the original sound, and then I can load the charged sample into the spectrum editor. As you can see, note 60 is probably the most accurate representation. You can tell from a quick look at the various breakpoints that the sound is a sawtooth type sound. As you cycle through the breakpoints, you can also see how this changes over time. Holding down Shift, I can get the display to fit the size of the sample. I'm going to set the loop points to near the start and end of the sample. I'll set the loop to ping pong mode. There is a very good reason for this. If I quickly set the sound with the loop set to forward, you can hear the point in which the sound makes an unnatural jump. Setting this to ping pong prevents this from happening, and in this case gives a more natural sound. I can change the nature of the sound just by adjusting the rate. This gives you a good idea if you wish to use the keyboard and velocity tracking. I'm going to leave these both as they are in this case. I'm also going to use the filter on this and hear how it sounds with this set to additive and subtractive. I'm going to set this to additive. I'm also going to leave the control ranges as they are, so that the detuning and panning is set by the original sample that I resynthesized. Moving on to generator B, I will put in a simple sine wave sound to layer with generator A. For this to sound, I'll also need to go to the morph mix section and position the sound so that I'm happy with the mix. Since we are only dealing with generator A and B, I don't have to worry about the vertical position for the moment. That gives you an idea how a simple sine wave can add a little weight to the sound. However, I'm not going to use generator B to do this. Instead, I'm going to resynthesize another sound. This time, I'm going to resynthesize a drum beat. Normally, this is not recommended, as the more complex the sound, then the more different it'll sound from the original. In this case, it reproduces the sound to create a totally different effect. I can then mess with the mixer settings in the morph mix section until I'm happy with the way the sound is layered. Remember, you can also have the morph mix automated so that over time the sound can morph between generator A and generator B. Now that I'm happy with that, I can then adjust the various DSP effects and the adsr envelope as well. Finally, I'm going to set up some control sources and targets so that I can add some dynamic movement to the sound. This brings us to an end of the Resynthesis video for Morphine. The next and final video will cover using Morphine in standalone mode.